how would you evaluate the state and legal standing of migrants in the world today?
Well, unfortunately, migrants have not specifically a convention that establishes a set of standards. There are what I would describe as a disparate system of different norms that have been created, some from human rights bodies, others from labor bodies, particularly from the International Organization for Labor. So there are standards and there are systems that have been agreed, but they are not incorporated into one single document that has the totality of the rules, I would say, or standards at the international level. So part of the work that we do is bringing them together. And part of these two policies that we have developed is also showing governments the standards that already exist and that have been approved by them in other contexts, but that are applicable to migration. Right. Now, the reality is that with the endorsement and the inclusion of migration into the Sustainable Development Goals, these standards become extremely important because not only migration is there in one specific goal, but it is cross-cutting into a series of different goals and targets of the SDGs for 2030.
So that's sort of a platform where we can begin to talk about migration at the global level and to build on some of the policies that you're seeing regionally and sub-regionally to build up towards that goal?
I would say it's a very important first step towards that.
We've heard across global development about the importance and potential of crowding in the private sector on a range of issues: food and agriculture, climate change, health, pretty much every sector. Is the same true for migration? Do you see more potential for private sector partnerships or just sort of general private sector interest in what you're doing to move the needle on some of these things?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think private sector is certainly part of the solution. The reality is that the majority of the people that migrate for economic reasons go to work with the private sector. And the private sector has a big interest in attracting migrants that very often bring the skills that they don't find necessarily within the local population. The reality is that when we talk to private sector, they are the ones that are more excited about the possibility of a better and easier human mobility. And they know today that part of the problem that they face in attracting the skills that they need is very often the restrictive migratory policies that governments have. So they are not only our natural partner, I would say, from the point of view of employing the migrants, but at the same time, one of the constituencies that are more interested in attracting migrants and relevant skills. That is from one side. On the other hand, private sector has developed and understood much better that they have to be part of the development and the economic solutions for employment, for growth, and that they have to play that role. So in that sense, they are very much interested today also in trying to find development solutions to specific areas where they see that there are gaps that the government cannot cover. And we know all today that governments cannot cover everything. The reality is there. The other aspect that I think private sector has made a very important move towards is assisting governments in responding to emergencies, and they also have understood the important role that they have to do that, and the fact that if they don't engage, it's not good for them, it's not good for the business, it's not good for anybody. So we have at IOM, and I am leading today exactly an initiative to try to develop a whole strategy on how to engage better with the private sector and how to incorporate their knowledge to our work, but also provide our knowledge to them in order to be sure that their systems and their mechanisms of working with other enterprises or work within the same company respect the human rights of the migrants that are working for them, and manage to achieve their goals at the end of the day.